Irissa squirmed in her state of semi-awareness. She knew where she was. Well, sort of. But she wasn't quite ready to open her eyes and check out her actual physical surroundings. All she knew for sure was that despite the aches and pains in her body that told her she had overdone things the day before, she was feeling marvelous. "So soft," a husky male voice breathed into Irissa's ear, and she tensed immediately. She knew whose voice this belonged to, Sten. He was not only spooned up tight against her back, but he had his arms wrapped possessively around her as his hands cupped her breasts. Irissa's gasps of awareness told Sten that she was finally awake enough to realize where she was. This meant she knew what was happening, which was even better as far as he was concerned. At least, he thought it would be shortly. He felt her gather herself to move, and he warned her, "Not now, or this will be over much too soon." Irissa had meant to object, but her body had other ideas, and the appreciative moan that slipped through her lips as Sten continued to caress her breast was not intended. "You are so sensitive to my touch. I love that." Sten's breath tickled Irissa's ear as he breathed his approval into it. Irissa's arousal was growing, and she had no way of knowing how to fight it, even if she could. She was supposed to be mad at this man for some reason, right? Why? She didn't pursue the reason, as she felt his tongue trace the pulse on the side of her neck, while his hands continued the exploration of her chest. She squirmed against him again, as she pressed her passion-swelled breasts against his hands for more attention. She then turned to face him, demanding more. "Kiss me, Sten," Irissa spoke in husky entreaty, and as she spoke, she wound her legs around his torso. Sten's chuckle of delight was lost in the heat of their kiss. It had been too long, and his Irissa was so receptive to his touch. His hands teased her sides, then her back, relishing in the softness of her skin. "So beautiful," Sten murmured, as his lips left Irissa's to reign even more over her face and neck. Soft, possessive, arousing, a promise of more and better to come. Irissa was lost in the sensation of Sten's touch. Her body had no mind to guide her movement. Where Sten led, she followed instinctively. "Show me what you like, where you want me to touch you, to kiss you," Sten murmured, as his hands touched her body that seemed more fluid than not. "Sten," Irissa murmured, as his lips covered the tip of a breast that had already been sensitized by his earlier attentions. Her moan of delight was mingled with a moan of ecstasy from him. "I knew it," Vicor declared loudly as he walked into the room with Echo in tow. "You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Sten, taking advantage of an innocent like Irissa in such a way." Echo reacted in a different manner, as she sounded shocked. "Irissa, how could you let him do this to you?" Sten reacted with a snarl as he rose from the bed to confront his brother. It didn't matter who Vicor was at this moment. He was too far lost to the heat of the passion that had been driving him forward. At this moment, nothing else mattered but completing the connection that would bind Irissa to him forever. He crossed the room with his hands extended and teeth bared. His intentions were simple and well understood by Vicor. In his current state of mind, he could and would tear the throat out of anyone who stood in his way of accomplishing his goal. Irissa's eyes looked dazed, even as she rose from her prone position on the bed in reaction to her sister's words. Had she really been doing something wrong? Oh, but it had felt so right to her. She was definitely having trouble focusing on what was happening around her at the moment, though.